Hi, I'm Robert Vogel, and I'm going to talk here a little bit about your emergency reload or your speed reload. Pretty much anything in the law enforcement self-defense type realm, that's going to be your most common reload, shooting the gun empty, right, reloading it. If you shoot IDPA, you're also going to do that a lot. The first thing is something a lot of people don't really think of is when you shoot the gun empty, is just realizing that it's empty, okay? We've all seen shooters, novice shooters on the range, they shoot the gun empty, right? We see the slide lock back. They don't quite realize the gun's empty. They go to pull the trigger again, and the gun dips down. It's because they didn't feel that. The reason that you won't see a high-level shooter do that is because he literally feels the slide lock back. When you're shooting, you feel the slide coming back and forward, and when it only comes back and it doesn't go forward, it just sends a little signal to your brain, literally in milliseconds, and you know the gun's empty. So there's probably 2 to 3 tenths of a second to be gained just simply on reacting to that a little bit sooner. After that, obviously being able to flip the gun in your hand, and it's really two main things. You got to be able to flip the gun in your hand, because I've got decent sized hands, but I cannot hit the mag release without flipping in my hand. So flip my hand, hit the button all the way in, and keep the gun straight up and down. If you do not do that, the mag will not come out. That's what leads people to shaking the gun, doing this, trying to pull it out. 9 times out of 10, it's not the gun. So many guys think, oh, it just doesn't come out of my gun. Normally I can take it in and out. No problem. So it's a technique issue, not a gun issue. Outside of that, I think the main thing is doing that reload right here in your workspace. Okay. The natural human condition with the gun, I think because it makes noise and explosions, people are scared of it, is they do it all the way out here or you drop it down into here. And just think for a minute how much more dexterity you have right here. If you were trying to thread a needle or a fish hook or work on a Swiss watch or something, you're so much better at that right here than you would be if you're doing it here or down here. It's the same thing with the reload. So it's faster. It's just better. So I'm bringing it up into here. In my arm, elbow, it's like an index spot, like the same place. I'm holding the gun where it points at the magazine. Okay, just like this. One of the harder things to do is the left hand. As soon as I fire that last shot, is I'm braking. I'm trying to get that magazine deeper in my hand. On a normal length magazine, I want my finger up by the bullet. Okay, I have a lot more dexterity. I can control it more there. It's in line with my hand and my arm. And also I can seat it off the base of my hand. Most people end up with it like this. Okay, this is awkward. The angle's wrong and you can't seat it off your hand so well. So you have to be able to actually grab literally the pouch rather than the magazine. So I'm grabbing here and not there. Takes practice. And then here, bring in the magazine to the gun where it's already in alignment. A lot of people don't realize they're doing it, but they bring the magazine to the gun at some kind of crazy angle. Once it gets to the gun, they change the angle and they insert the magazine. They're adding a whole extra step. Okay, so it's got to come up to there. The hardest part about doing a reload, I don't care who you are, is just getting this to go into there. So you can do everything pretty quick, but right here at this insertion spot, you want to slow down a little bit. Okay? That way, in case you fumble it, if you don't slow down here, you're going to throw the magazine across the range, you're going to do one of these numbers. It's not going to work out real well. Slow down a little bit, then once it's inserted, you can speed it back up. Now, last part of this, well, when you seat the magazine, this hand really should never stop. This hand comes up, and it just seats the magazine. It continues to slide back forward as you press the gun back out to shoot. The last part of this is hitting the slide forward. There's some arguments on this. The fastest way, we're going to talk about speed and not theories here, but the fastest way, if you can do it, is hitting that release with a strong hand thumb. The second fastest way is hitting the release with a support hand thumb. You're delaying this hand a little bit more from getting into a firing position. The slowest way is grabbing the slide. If you're not skilled, if you don't practice, that's actually probably the way you should do it because it's a little bit easier, but I believe the other way can be mastered. It's just economy of motion. If I grab the slide, I got to seat this magazine, and then rather than just going to shoot, I actually have to come off the gun, the top of the gun, grab the gun, pull the slide back, let it go, come all the way back underneath the gun and grab it. That's a lot of stuff I don't want to have to do. To me, it's a waste of time. So that release. What a lot of people do wrong here is they'll actually fire the gun, right, empty, they flip their hand, they hit the slide release or the magazine release, but then they keep their thumb down here all the way up until after they seat the magazine, and then they decide they have to reach up, find, and hit that release. And the thumb should already be there. So your thumb goes immediately from the mag release To the slide release, it just doesn't hit it yet until that mag is there. And once it's seated, you're dropping the slide and going back on out. So at the end of the day, the top tier shooters in the world are able to reload the gun shot to shot, literally the same speed they can draw it. So that's a test you can do for yourself. You can draw the gun 5 to 7 yard target in say 1 second or 1.2 or whatever it is. Ultimately, you should be able to do a reload at that speed too.